choose to help you through and understand the SPSS computations, I would suggest that in exercise 31, which is what we're looking at, they go through the manual computations. It's really well worth your time to go through the manual computations to better understand where these numbers come from and match them up with what you get with SPSS. In the meantime, I'm taking the data from table 31-1. And you'll notice that in terms of setting it up, I've set up participant number, and I made all the decimals here 0 because all of these numbers are whole numbers. I don't need any decimal places. I set up a column called group, and I'll explain that in a second. And then weeks, which is the weekly hours worked value. So I have three columns. The first two are ordinal, meaning they're just numbers. They just represent something. They're not really used for calculations. And then the last one is a scale. So here's how I put the numbers in. So I have the participant. It looks like there's 4 columns in the table, but there's really only 2. There's the participant number that they are in the treatment group, and then they're divided into 2 groups. And so in order to work with SPSS correctly, I have to put them all together. The participant numbers, the weekly hours have to be all in one column. So how do I differentiate between treatment and control? Well, I do that with a marker. And I'm going to choose 1 and 2 like they did in the example, but you could use T and C, you could use A and B, you could use anything that differentiates the first group from the second group. Once you have this data in, then you're going to go to, this time, not descriptive statistics, but compare means. And we're going to choose the, here we go here, let me get this, independent sample t-test. Now, I'm only going to go through what you need to get the statistics. To fully understand the one sample t-test, you really need to read through the instructions in the exercise, and also take a look at some of the other videos and our discussion board on the sampling, the t-test and what it is and how you do a hypothesis test and what the meanings are, because that will be important. Now, I've already brought my things over, so the weekly hours are going to go into the test variable. And here we have a new thing that we have to do. We have to bring the groups down into here, into the group variables. And when we do that, we also have to define the groups. And here's where you would tell what you put in to define group 1 and what you put in to define group 2. If you use T and C, you would be putting in a T for 1 and a C for 2. However you want to do that, it doesn't make any difference. And then you're going to click OK. The test statistics that you're going to get are the mean and standard deviation of each group. So you'll get that information. And then you will also get all of these statistics, which is the sample, independent sample t-test. And this will give you all sorts of information here. The key numbers here are the test statistic, which is 4.00022. That's the calculation. Now, every time you use a different sampling, different kind of sample t-test, you will get, there's a different kind of formula that has to be used. So different hypothesis tests have different formulas for getting this t-statistic, but it's still called a t-statistic, and it's an important number, and it's discussed further in the worksheet and things. Once you get that, the calculation for the significant value is listed here. And that significant value is always compared to whatever alpha is. We talked about that in previous weeks. Alpha being usually 0.05, but sometimes it's different. You want to read carefully to make sure that it hasn't been changed for a particular research report. That's what's being compared. And once those are compared, if it is significant, if it's less than the alpha, and that means that you would reject the null hypothesis. And if it's greater than alpha, that means it's not significant and you would fail to reject the null hypothesis. The only thing I'll tell you here about the null hypothesis is to remember the null hypothesis is always basically status quo. So you're saying, if I fail to reject it, that means nothing really happened. And even though I ran this test and this research, I don't have enough evidence to support what I'm trying to claim. So that's the kind of thing that you're looking at. Be sure to read all the other pieces to fully understand the concept behind this. Thank you.